Clean Scout here. She's just out tearing around, beating up on her little stuffed toys. Alright. Well, I'm in here doing some cooking. So I'm going to make Deer Patti. Patty's my mother-in-law, and this is her deer recipe, so I called it Deer Patti. It's not quite a stew, but yeah, it's just a deer bake that goes in the oven and used as a side dish. So anyways, I got about 1.5 pounds, 2 pounds of mushrooms, a couple onions. I got a sweet white onion and just a normal medium yellow onion. Give it a bit of flavor. And I got a tablespoon of oregano and about half a tablespoon of pepper. That's going to go into this here 1.5 cups of flour. And then I've got about a cup of beef broth, and I'm going to use about another cup of red wine. And I got about, I don't know, 3 pounds of backstrap here, and I'm actually going to take the fascia off this before I flash fry it, and then I'm just gonna process all this stuff up and then take it from there. Alright, so I got this stuff processed down, and as I cut down this onion and started getting into the onion, I noticed that I had enough there, so I didn't really need to use that other one. You can use as much as you want. It's just a guide. And the same with the oregano and the pepper in here. You can see the little flecks of stuff in there. You can put a little more in if you want, or a little less. You'll notice I didn't add salt. That's only because my mother-in-law doesn't eat a lot of salt, and so I just let everybody else salt it to the way they want. So yeah, I just diced these up, and then I sliced those up. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw these into that pot over there with about a tablespoon of butter, and I'm just going to saute those down. And then I've also got my back strap here, and so what I did was I cut it down into probably about the same thickness as the mushrooms, pretty much, maybe a little thinner than what I did the mushrooms. But while this stuff's cooking, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this here meat and I'm going to put it in the flour, but I'm only going to do it in little batches at a time, because if I put all this into that flour all at once, it's just going to start turning into mush. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to take about a third of this pile, put it in there, shake it up like I would shake and bake, and then again I'm going to put it in a frying pan, and I'm going to flash fry it in some butter. But when I get to that point, I'll show you. Alright, so I got these guys over here sauteing away in this here pot, and I got a blob of oil in here, or a blob of butter. You can use oil if you want. You can use olive oil, vegetable oil, canola oil, whatever. It doesn't taste the same if you don't use butter. But anyways, got it set for about 7-8, because I'm going to be giving this a pretty quick fry. So you want to make sure you've got good ventilation in the house too, because it kind of gets a little bit smoky once you start frying the meat here. And so what I'm going to do is, so now I'm just going to take this meat, and like I was saying, I don't want to have it turn all gooey on me, so just do little batches at a time, whatever will fit in that frying pan. So that's probably going to be about, a decent handful full like that. Start out with that. Now you don't have to use flour. You can, if you're gluten intolerant or gluten free, you can use quinoa flour. It doesn't quite turn out the same. Same with corn flour. Spelt, just doesn't quite turn out the same. Anyways, you just shake that up, make sure you got a nice little coating on all the meat. And then just drop it in the pan. so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give this a quick browning like this. And then once I've got all that done, I'm going to add my liquids to the onions and mushrooms. And then I'm going to crank the oven up to about 350. And then I'm going to put all this stuff together in a roasting pan. Cook it in the oven on 350 for about 40 minutes. Yeah, you can kind of see what I'm doing here. I'm just kind of tossing it in the frying pan and give it a quick fry. And we'll be back for part 4. Okay, you can kind of see how the blood's starting to come through the other side, and it's starting to wash out the flour, and it's getting a little bubbly. That's usually about the time that I want to turn it. You can see there how it's kind of just browned on that side there. So this is the point when I want to start flipping it. Okay, this stuff's kind of sauteed down, so I'm going to start adding my liquids. So I put my beef broth in. And then I have Copper Moon Shiraz red wine. And I'm going to put about a cup of that in there too. And then I'm just going to let this cook a little bit while this meat is still going. And so after each batch of that meat's been cooked, what I do is I just throw it in the roasting pan for the time being until I get it all done. I'm almost there. It's going to be about 4 batches. And then what I'll do is after all the meat's done, I'm going to pour this into here, and then it's going in the oven at 350 for about 40 minutes. Alright, so there's the old fried up meat. And then now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add the mushroom onion wine mix. That goes in there. And then I've also got a little bit of cornstarch on the go here. So there's like about a 1/4 cup of water, cold water, and some cornstarch here. And I'm just going to pour this in because this is going to kind of thicken it up a little bit. Alright. Give it a quick little mix there. Blue Jay. And then, yeah. And then into the oven. $350 for 40 minutes. Now what I'm going to do too is I'm just going to make some side dish. Probably just going to make up some rice and some steamed broccoli. Alright, then we'll show you what it looks like when it's done. Alright, so here's the finished product. So you can eat it just like that, or if you want, you can make up some rice, some broccoli, and then eat it like that. But yeah, this is what Deer Patti looks like.